football. Um, I know on the Gamers Getting Played page I made the video numerous times. I talked about it a lot, especially when Little League World Series 2 years ago or 3 years ago, 2 years ago, where it was such a bad call, and I did a video about it, about how that affects those kids. How do I know? Because I had to play baseball from like Pee Wee all the way up through Double A softball, and then playing softball in the Air Force. Never got away from it. Fucking can't stand baseball. Because everyone else was having fun. I'm at baseball practice, games every weekend. It was, I wanted to go fishing, hunting. Um, Coached for Pop Warner for many years, and I coached football for many years, where it was 6 guys per team. And I always got the rejects, the excellent players that didn't give a shit about it. They were only doing it because they had to, and then the ones nobody wanted on their team. And we kicked all their asses because, see, my philosophy is that if you give that guy a chance, the guy who nobody ever throws the ball to him, but we kind of got in trouble a little bit because we beat the other teams so bad, because I had the athletes on my team. I had the kids that wanted to try on my team. You know what I mean? And so, we had the little chubby kid who nobody wanted. He got 3 touchdowns. We made sure that he got the ball. We made sure that they thought our guy who's been kicking their ass was going to get the ball, and he's standing out there. He dropped one, and everybody patted him on the back, but he caught the next ones. And his dad came to me after the game and thanked me. He said, "Thank you very much for doing that." And I told him, he showed up to every single practice. Every one. Okay? That's how I see sports. Football, I enjoyed football. I was always the skinny guy. Lots of wheels, but just, at 155 pounds with a 28 waist, you're pretty skinny. Baseball, I just, I would play in a softball game now and again, you know what I mean, with the group in town. But organized softball, I started having a problem at night with my vision. This is before I got glasses. Started having a problem seeing balls in the lights. I don't know if anyone else had that problem. I just couldn't fucking see it. It would just disappear. Gone. So, yeah, football. I don't have a team. I guess I'm rooting for the Niners this year, but I don't really have a team. I use my 30-second button to skip through, watch whatever. You know what I mean? I don't have to watch any commercials. I know exactly how many button pushes. Like, this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll be back to the game with them ready to play. Okay? So, baseball. Too many years of baseball. In Rodeo, California, it was known for a very long time, we're talking in the 60s, as Baseball Town, USA. And we had a lot of all-star players come out of our town. A lot. So the town was littered with baseball diamonds. Garrettson had, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 fields at Garrettson, 1 at Joseph's, down at the end of the projects, and then 1 up at Hillcrest, in a little tiny small town. So baseball was big. It was what everyone did. And not so good at, I was great at fielding and catching, not so good at, and I was good at pitching, but not so good at batting. I just couldn't see the ball. It's always been that way. Just couldn't see the ball. Couldn't see the spin. I would lose track of it even on the way. But if you hit a ball with a baseball bat, and I'm out in center or center left, and you hit a ball in my direction, I can get to it. You're not going to get one by me. That's all there is to it. And if you're going for home, I will throw you out. That was my skill. And getting on base. Okay, I batted 870 because it's from teaching baseball. Second base, clank. Okay, first base, clank, right? You hit thousands of balls exactly where you want to hit them. And I never got a double, but I could get on base every time because there was always a hole where I knew I could blip that ball. It's fucking underhand, for Christ's sakes. It's not hardball. And I would just blink and put it right into the spot where I knew they weren't going to get it. Simple as that. I wasn't going to hit a home run. Still skinny then. I only started getting fat when I got sick. Around the year 2000. I started out with hemochromatosis, and I knew that I had didn't get lucky in the genetic gene pool. Football, I liked coaching the teams, the little challenge teams. I liked coaching them. They had fun. I had fun. You know, I would make up little 4x6 business cards, and I used pennies. And I would trace the pennies around and show each side, and then I would show them their formations. And each person got a set of cards. And on those cards were where they were supposed to be on whatever play got called and what they were supposed to do. And there was 3 variations of each 6 plays, and that's all you needed. 6 plays done 3 different ways. They could never touch them because it was really easy to practice, and everyone knew exactly what they were going to do because of that little card system. And again, I got the jocks who just didn't give a shit. They didn't want to play. They were the hard guys. You know what I'm saying? They wanted, all of them were Fonzies, you know, but they were great athletes. Okay, I had this little kid he had an arm, a real arm, accurate. Okay, that's how our worst players got touchdowns, because he could throw it right into their chest. You know what I mean? All they had to do is just hang on to it. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed coaching all those years. I tried umpiring, and I sucked at that. I actually embarrassed myself one night because I would get excited and just blow the fucking whistle. And the kid would be like, "What?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, man. I thought you were holding that guy. Never mind." So they really didn't ask me back to do any of that. Coaching was my forte. Good with the kids. I can teach kids golf, baseball, football. Okay, golf. That was my specialty. Was teaching, young kids golf. It's easy for me to be patient with kids, not so patient with adults. You know what I mean? Teaching is something I've always enjoyed doing. The Pop Warner was fun, and both baseball and football was. I enjoyed that immensely. Playing, I kind of enjoyed playing softball after many years, 15 years or so after, regimented baseball. I started playing softball just with the local friends and stuff, that we drank and partied with. And that was fun. But after that, I could care less. I don't watch the World Series. I could care less who wins. You know what I mean? Football, if I couldn't watch it this way, I probably wouldn't watch it, because it's not worth the commercials to me. But I like watching the athletes earn their money. That's some big bucks they get. Okay, but I don't have to watch with this one. It's 30 seconds per play, and I can go through a game super fast. I see the hour of gameplay, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's how many buttons you push. It's always the same for every game because of the TV timeouts and shit. Come on, man, let me just throw something. So, archery, very good at archery, because I'm a Sagittarius. Makes sense, right? A taxophyllite. Strike zones. So I got in a big thing a couple years back, strike zone. What was in the strike zone, what wasn't in the strike zone, and it was a bad call. I mean, bad. This thing was 10 inches easy off the plate and low. It was just a bad pitch, and he called it a strike. And the kid, to his credit, turned around and looked at the umpire, and then he turned around the other way and he looked down at the third base coach, and then he just looked back at the pitcher and started warming up again. I thought that was fantastic, but it was such a bad call that you could kind of hear it in the announcer's voice about how close that was. And it wasn't close. So I said, what we need is, just like in tennis, you need the eye to tell, was the ball in bounds or was the ball not in bounds at the baseline, right? And humans just, it was too fallible with humans, and so they got the eye. And that thing's accurate as hell. And we know we can do it with baseballs because we know the distance between the plate and the pitcher's mound and where the camera is. And we can precisely place that strike zone over the plate so that everyone knows, okay, if it's outside of this, it's a ball. Okay, that's how it should be called. And leave the fucking umpire to calling whether it hit the guy or whether he went around. That's actually the first base coach's or umpire's job. But he could be there to call people out or safe at home plate. And that you would immediately change the game. I've thought about this from day one by all the pitches I thought that were bad that were called on me. Is that one day there'll be the technology. I always thought that there would be beams of light, that there would be infrared light beams being projected off the sides of the plate, right? That we could see this way. I mean, inside the strike zone, not necessarily height, but inside the strike zone. And I expected to see that by like the mid 80s. No. Now, we see, I knew as soon as I saw him projecting first down lines on the football field. At first it was kind of funky, right? But I mean, it's pretty damn solid now. So then I saw the first strike zone presented, and I thought, about time. Now, what's the next step? What's the next logical step? They took the umpire out of calling, whether it was in or not. I mean, it was obvious. Okay, everyone knew. But if there was a discussion or an argument, it went to the digital device that could see much better than the human eye. And if the ball is outside, it's fucking outside. Okay, if any part of the ball is touching anywhere, even if it's outside the strike zone, if even a part of the ball is touching that line, I'll give you a strike. Because, like I said, I'm a pitcher, and I think we earn that, right? Especially if you have a breaking ball. The more room you have, the better. That puts the umpire out of it. You wouldn't see players turn around and arguing or any of that. You know what I'm saying? And actually, the umpire could actually back up and be safer. Maybe he wouldn't get hit in the face and the nuts so much. You know what I mean? He could just back up and kind of be like any of the other umpires. Back off home plate. So you're back behind home plate and off to the left maybe 20 feet watching. That's it. Batter, catcher, electronic zone, that everyone in the stadium will know that it was or was not a strike, regardless of where you are sitting in the stadium, because the perspective is quite different, right? For the spectators, the angle the ball's leaving the pitcher and going to the plate. It's hard to tell, was that inside, outside? Up and down's always easier. That's why I assumed we would see that first. That would do nothing but improve the game, especially for the kind of money we're paying these fucking people, right? That's why we have instant replay in football. Some of it's even mandatory. And let's just have an electronic strike zone and not have the umpire at home plate call it any longer. He can just take off all that padding and stand back over there, just like the rest of the umpires, and just call home plate. Balk, things like that, right? He could we'll give him a whole new job. and a new position on the field. I've always thought that was the way to go. Maybe we'll see it. I'm hoping for that. Now that I see it more and more where they're showing the strike zone, umpires don't like that shit. They don't like it. Not only is it threatening their job, but it's better than they are. It's more accurate than they are. And if anybody wants anything to be called correctly, it's the last pitch at the bottom of the ninth, right? And here's your chance for your side to go ahead, and you get a shitty fucking call, or two, or three. Instant replay at home plate, right? Instant replay on close calls on throws to first base, because sometimes the human eye is just not good enough, although they are pretty fucking good. Okay, some of those guys calling it at first base. I think for me, I think he's the most important ref in the game, or the umpire in the game. First base umpires. That guy, really, he probably has more stress put on him than anyone else. But at least he gets to use his ears and his eyes. You know what I mean? But still, he has to make that decision every time. And I'll tell you who knows, right? The only guy who knows really is the runner. Because he's using his physical senses and his ears. And he knows if he beat that throw or not. That's the only guy, okay? The other, first base and everyone else in the stadium's guessing. Kids, I miss teaching the kids. I do. That was fun. I really enjoyed it. Teaching adults for me has always been a pain in the ass. Teaching golf to adults, oh, I tell you. I mean, sometimes I thought they were fucking with me. First thing they're doing is they're swinging so damn hard that they're not hearing anything about turning your hands over or getting a club face score. They're not hearing any of that. They're simply hitting another ball like the thousands they've hit before, and their swing looks exactly like the 999 before it. And so I always used a video camera to show them, look, this is what you're doing. This is your first move. Your first move is not down. Your first move is like this. Okay, right shoulder coming forward. That's why you got this gigantic slice. And they swear they're not doing it. And I'd say, well, let's hit it just a little bit easier. So I want you to give me 80% of your normal swing. Whew! Okay, now I want you to take 10% off of that swing. Whew! Okay, take 10% off of that. Whew! I mean, it was just fucking adult men. The women were a little easier. Kids are awesome. They listen to everything you say. And they can feel what's happening with their bodies when they're doing it. And they start putting it together really early if you give them a good golf swing. And don't fuck with their heads. Tell them, hey, every golf swing looks different. If you're feeling comfortable and the ball is going straight and you're not hurting anything in your body, if you go home and something's hurting, if your back hurts or your shoulder hurts, whatever, you're doing something wrong, okay, when you're young. But, if you feel good and you're hitting the ball and it's going where you want it to go, that's a good golf swing. Because it's going to change all throughout your life. Don't worry about it. You just give them good basics, good weight shift, right? Yeah. Sports. I liked racing. I liked racing airplanes. I liked fast boats. I like slow boats too. Faster motorcycles. Dirt or street. I've had some fucking Widowmaker dirt bikes that just threw everybody who got on it. Yeah. I had the 460 Suzuki. That thing was a murderous machine. But see, that's not sports. That's really, sports is something where you have to cooperate, I think, either with yourself mentally, you know what I mean? And put an effort forth, whether it's, some people can shoot free shots like it's nothing. For me, that is the hardest thing in the world. In the world. But if you had a ball at me from anywhere home base and I'm in left, center, or center, I'm going to get to that ball. They called me Wheels. That was the advantage of being skinny and light, was that I was fast. Always easy to catch. Why? Because I'd caught thousands before. You know what I mean? Especially softball. When I started getting into double A softball, it was kind of a joke because, it's the field is so much smaller, the ball's going less. Either if they hit it out, okay, but if it was anywhere else, you could really get to it. Yeah. I mean, sports, yeah, that's where it's at with me. That's pretty much my whole life and my philosophy as far as sports go. When people ask me about, well, what's your opinion on sports? Um, I think racing my motorcycle was a sport, but we both know that's totally different. Basketball, baseball, football, things like that, tennis, golf, those are sports. Racing the motorcycle, um, no, it's more that's because that's it's more mechanical. There's more mechanicalness to that kind of sport. Your tuner can be just as important as you getting a good light, right? Or in an airplane, if you have good G tolerance, right? Good spatial awareness, what you're doing, understand the performance parameters of your plane, that kind of thing. There's no fear. It's always excitement and fun and exciting. It's just like riding a bike. Fast is exciting, you know what I mean? Except it's three-dimensional in an aircraft. But sports, yeah, I could give it or take it after I mean, it's been about 20 years since I was really able to participate meaningfully. But before that, the 45 years before that, fully involved. And man, I'd say my right shoulder suffered more than anything else from pitching because they had us throwing. I threw full games. And now I know that was wrong. That was wrong of them to have us throwing full games and that hard and throwing stuff. You know what I mean? Throwing breaking balls. It was bad, and we shouldn't have been doing it at that age. And so I kind of suffered a little bit from that, but I don't have any permanent injuries from sports. I have permanent injuries from shit like motorcycles or work. You know what I mean? Sports has been fairly safe for me. Falling off motorcycles, yeah, that's kind of fucked me up quite a few times. But again, I don't consider that a sport. Yeah, I got out pretty scot free. Golf, that always fucked with my back, but that's because my back was fucked up. Golf didn't fuck up my back. Uh, golf. I mean, if anything else, golf had me walking the golf course, which was really good for my back. This is the trouble with being in shape when you have a piece of disc impinging on your sciatic nerve. When you get muscle spasms and your back is in really super fine toned condition and very strong, the pain is just equal to that. The amount it hurts you is equal to that. Yeah. So golf kind of jacked me up towards the end because I was being stubborn. But then the whole golf clique where I live, that's one of the reasons I don't play golf anymore. Is a whole cliquey fucking shit. Now my nephew plays. He's paralyzed on his left side. He plays with one arm. Great putter. I play with him. Haven't in a while, but I would. Too cliquey. Too cliquey in my area. Real bad. What else? That's about it, really. Don't yeah. What I think I tried High Lie when I was in Las Vegas, and I got a few to come off of the. God, I can't forget what they call them, but that was it. That wasn't me. Bowling. So I'm a straight bowler. I never could get the ball to curve with any consistency, but what I could do is just miss the head pin by a little bit. And so, it's 210, somewhere in there, average, nothing spectacular. So, no. Golf, real good at golf. Crushing driver, great iron game, and then get up there and fucking three putt every time. Um, Football, played a little bit of football, didn't like it.